Hello and welcome to StudioPro.net. My name is Olli and this is the first video on this channel. So I thought it would be a nice idea to show you the studio a little bit, because here we are producing a lot of Studio Pro stuff. So I'm making sound design here for our products, or I'm creating musical content for our products. So I thought it would be a cool idea to show you around a little bit. My intention for building the studio was to make it a really nice, comfortable place where you can hang out. It's more like a living room where you can work. Of course, we designed a good acoustic to so that we are able to work here professionally, but the feeling is more like a living room, and I really love this fact or this side about the studio. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the technical side. The main computer is a Mac Pro from Apple, and we are working with Cubase. Also, we have a MacBook Pro and a PC server. And on the MacBook Pro and on the PC we are running a software called Piano Ensemble Pro, and this is a plugin host where you can load plugins, so instrument plugins or effect plugins, whatever you want. And then the servers, so the MacBook Pro and the PC server, are connected via Ethernet to the main computer, and all the audio information goes into Cubase. So we have it really inside the Cubase mixer digitally, no analog connections, so we don't have any signal loss via this connection. And this is a really cool way of working, because so you can yeah, put plugins where you need a lot of processor power. You can put it on your servers, and you still have enough processor power for your main computer where you're running your DAW on. And this is really nice. So this is the computer system that we are running. On this table we also find a pad. It's an Android pad, but it doesn't matter if it's an Apple or Android or whatever. What matters is that we are running a software called TouchOSC. So touch and then OSC, and you can build your own let's say digital interface with the software. So you can have a touch interface for your as an example for your DAW. So I can press, I don't want to remember the shortcuts on my keyboard, so I can just press virtual keys on my pad, and then I can yeah, remote control my Cubase with that. This is really nice. Also on the table we have a interface, control surface called Korg Nano Control with some faders, and with that I'm controlling MIDI controllers like modulation or CC7, because in a lot of orchestral libraries these controllers are controlling, let's say, volume or dynamics or all that stuff, and I needed a little control, so I decided to use the Korg Nano Control too. And also on the table we find the Softube Control 1, what is also on control service, but this time this control service is controlling plugins, so VST plugins or whatever plugin format you are using. And also you get Softube plugins with that control surface. In the standard version you get a SSL emulation, what also sounds really good, and I really love working with that control surface while mixing, because yeah, I think it's cool to have something in your hands sometimes and not always work with your mouse and your keyboard. Yeah, this is the table. Then we have for monitoring we have a multiple KRK monitors. I really love them. Some people hate them, but I really like the sound of them. And we have a stereo configuration right now, so 2 pairs stereo. Right now we can work up to 7.1 in this studio, but this year we also will install Dolby Atmos, and I'm really looking forward to this. That will be really nice. And also I'm planning to then produce some products in Dolby Atmos. So yeah, you should definitely sign up to our newsletter to get information about this. Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about some outboard gear. It's not a lot here because a lot of things are happening digitally these days, but I like to have some outboard gear. And on this side we have a little Korg MS-20 Mini. We also have a how is it called? Oh, let me see. A talk box. I'm sorry. Oh, we also have a talk box, and we have a little Moga Foga Freak box. On the other side, we have also from Moog Little Fatty. Then this is really nice. This is a Korg Prophecy, an old synthesizer, but you can do really crazy sound design with that. That's why I bought it. It's really nice. It's cheap. You can get one for 400 euro, I think, and it's really, really good. Also, I like to mention the Roland System 1M. What also is a really cool sound design synthesizer in my opinion, because you get some really crazy how's it called, some really crazy waveforms in the oscillators, and I really like that synthesizer. The rest is standard stuff, you know, some outboard effects and compressors, and yeah, nothing you did not see before in another studio. Let's come to the rack, to the computer rack. Here is the mentioned Mac Pro, sorry. This is the PC server I talked about. There's an old PC, but this is now this got replaced by the MacBook Pro. Yeah, audio-wise, we are using UAD hardware. So we have an Apollo X6. We also have an DSP. DSP card, or however you call it, I don't know how exactly, but it's a device with some DSPs in it for more power. And on the table we also have an Apollo Twin, and here we have another thing. It's an RME ADI8DS, so we just have more in and outputs with this device, and so we definitely have enough outputs and inputs here in the studio to connect everything together. Last thing I want to mention computer-wise is this device here. It's from Blackmagic. I'm not sure how it's called now. I will write it in this in the video later. But the functionality is that you can put in some discs in that, and you don't have to put it, so SSD disk, I mean, and you don't have to put it in your computer. You can connect it via Thunderbolt or via USB-C, and it's so fast that you can cut 4K videos in real time from your external discs, and I really love it. It's not that cheap, but it's still cheaper than buying Apple disk space, so I decided to use this, and I really love it. You should have a look at this. Last but not least, I want to talk a little bit, or just short, about my patch base. So the idea in the studio is that everything here, every input and every output is connected to these three patch base. And if I want to, let's say for an example, if I want to record my Korg Prophecy, I just have to put in 2 cables, and then I have the signal in my Cubase, and I can record and work with it. And if you want me to make a video only about really the connections, the audio connections in the studio, and to dive a little bit deeper, just write it down in the comments, and then I will make a separate video about this. Last but not least, here we have a little place where some external synths. I want to mention the Yamaha SY1. It's the first synth ever made by Yamaha, and it's has definitely a unique sound to it, and also the Korg Prophecy has definitely a unique sound to it, and that's why I have these two synthesizers, because I'm doing film music and commercial music, and a lot of times the customers want really unique sounds in their projects, and so that's why I have these two synthesizers. Downstairs I also have a lot of other synthesizers that are special. I will make a separate video about that too. But now in the studio I have these two, or let's say with the Roland System 1M, I have these three synthesizers that are really special and I really love to work with. Okay, that was a little overview about the studio. If you want me to dive deeper into certain areas, let's say the audio connections or how the computer system is working, just write it down in the comments and I will make a separate video for it. And yeah, thank you really much for watching. I hope you had a lot of fun like me, or just like me doing it, and see you next time.